Hey guys, Zar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good morning so far. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, July 10th, 9:29, 1 minute away from the open range, and these are 1 minute charts you're looking at. These are the three sisters, NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow from left to right. The usual. I know I'm repetitive. I do it on purpose. Power of rituals, guys. Volume weighted average price, the blue line in the middle, 2.5 standard deviations. We will watch this open together. I will be very patient on the open, letting things play out. Let me show you the daily frame here, guys. Big believer in making sure you understand, or we understand, where the daily candles are. We are in an extended move now. It doesn't mean overextended. It just means a long leg based on prior similar legs, right? See this impulse here, a little corrective impulse, right? Corrective, impulse, little corrective, impulse, corrective, impulse, right? It would make perfect sense if we had an inside day here today, or blasting through the new highs. Why? Because that's the character of the market right now, certainly as it relates to the NASDAQ and the S&P, not so much to the Dow, which is very much in a contracting pattern here. This would be a triangle. See this here? Let me just see if I can draw this to illustrate what I'm referring to. Right there. Do you see that? Pretty clear, right? And if that continues to contract, eventually, obviously, it will break out because it has to. There's nowhere else for it to go beyond the apex. But be having one eye on that as well. But the NASDAQ is my index of choice, my vehicle of choice, if you will, for entries. For those who are new, these blue horizontal lines are last week's range, right? Last week's range, so we are above last week's range, of course, having hit all-time highs yesterday. And these two white lines are yesterday's high and low. Yesterday's high and low, right there. See it? And so there's the 1 minute open range, guys. It is complete. There, and of course, a big one here, a huge open range candle for the 1 minute on the Dow. I'll be cutting out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, things of that nature, and I will bring you back as things materialize here. But I'm going to be very patient here, guys. You can see we are kind of in this tight little range here on the 30-minute chart on the NASDAQ. Looking like we want to break out. We actually just did marginally, yeah, right there. A little peak, and now have pulled back inside the open range. I won't jump on anything here on the open, guys. Just going to be watching this play out, guys. Tendency is to jump on things before the appointed time, and this is not the time as far as I'm concerned. There's the three sisters, NASDAQ dropping, S&P flat back in the open range, and Dow rallying to the top of the open range. Very much a divergent picture here, guys, so I won't be acting upon this at all. Super sloppy and grindy over here on the Dow, as it has been lately. I showed you the daily picture. You could see that triangle. This is a triangle within a triangle. This is a mini, of course, being the 1 minute chart. Let me show you the grid dropping down now on the Dow, trying to get out of the open range, which is a very, very wide open range, by the way, and retesting here below EMAs on the S&P. NASDAQ's the strongest of the three, rallying into the open range. Looking for that to fail in through here, and I might have an entry. We'll see. Dow looking weaker. Just going to place a marker here, guys. Another idea. Just an idea, not an actual order. I will let you know if I go live. I think it's unlikely, quite frankly, but I always like to measure things out and just get a sense of what this would take. All right, guys, live order right there. Feel that shift? I don't know if you felt that there for a moment. Let's see if it continues to fire through. But if we can break through to new highs, we might get a burst of energy here. We will see. And I'm in, guys. I am long. First trade of the day, and almost regretting it right away. And so we are at all-time highs again, guys, here. This is smooth sailing or clear sailing, meaning that nobody who's long the NASDAQ futures are at a loss. They're all making money. But it does mean that the shorts are losing money. And the way that shorts are closed out, of course, is by buying, right? So they could be stopped out or just manually closing out. And so buying, of course, pushes prices even higher. And that could be what we are in store for here. Let's wait and see. All right, guys, given that we have a speech here, if we get to the 50% mark, which is right about here, I'm going to move my stop to break even and lock in a short no-lose trade on this one. And there we go, guys. My stop is now at break even. I can't lose on this one. There's also a higher chance, of course, that I'll be stopped out. Probably a very high chance if we get a little profit taking here. I'm willing to accept that on this very sloppy hump day in summer. And there it is, guys. Stopped out at break even, playing defense on this. And as some of you have asked, I'm going to let this video play out, guys, and we'll see how resourceful that decision was after the fact, of course, and with hindsight. In other words, our price is going to come all the way back to the original stop, so it was a good decision, of course, all hindsight, or will it go back to hitting profits, and I shouldn't have taken the break even though with hindsight, of course, it doesn't matter. This is the decision I'm making with what's available to me at the time. I'll put you on pause and bring you back. All right, guys, we're back. Just watching to see if this thing's going to get stopped out or not. Some of you have asked for me to play out whenever I do a dynamic exit, meaning an exit that is not this or this. And typically that means a break even or something a little bit early. And I rarely do anything early, by the way, on the stop side or on the profit side. Very, very rarely. Out of 900 some odd videos, you've probably seen, I don't know, 2 or 3 like that. But when I take a break even, I want to let this play out so you can see if that was a good idea. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it is a good idea for me, given that that's what my model would have me do on a day like this and in this part of the cycle. Even if this went on immediately and hit profit right away, it was still a good idea for me to do, given what I could see at the time. But I know that the way human nature is, you want to see how it plays out to say, aha, good call or bad call. And so I'm happy to play that game with you. Let's wait and see how it goes. Oh, and there it is, guys. So it turns out that prices did come back and stop me out where I would be stopped out at my original stop loss. So it turns out it was a good idea to get out at break even. Have an amazing day, guys. Hopefully there'll be another trade here today, but who knows? It's only 10:36. There's still time, but I think Powell is still talking. I don't usually watch those, but it's always something interesting going on, isn't there? Have a great one. We'll talk soon.